When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast that's basically the little engine that couldn't.
It's not that little either.
it's big.
Yeah. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today
we're
going to talk about kilts.
We're going to talk about kilts.
How's your Scottish accent, Kyle?
Bad.
Yeah.
How's yours? I only know the "you cheese-eating surrender monkeys" from The Simpsons.
I think I nail one word. Scotland.
It's just the most important word.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about kilts.
Yeah.
But first, we do have a feedback that I like. We're recording this on Mother's Day, so it's a little late for Mother's Day, but there was a Ma Johnson appreciation voicemail that I wanted to play for her for Mother's Day.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Sean from Minneapolis. I'm doing a deep listen into the archives. I've been listening for years, but I'm listening to the podcast or the episode on protests, and you called Ma Johnson, and I got to tell you, Mike, I was in tears. Literally, she is a gem, and I'm going to donate to her GoFuckMe page. That's it. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
So, Mom, I guess your GoFuckMe page is going to get your first major donation.
Everything's going to change now.
Everything's going to change now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks.
Also, we have an update, Kyle.
Ooh.
Yeah. Should it be inside the news?
Is it a news update?
It is a news update.
Oh, then yes.
Okay, then here's the news.
Shut your mouth hole, it's time for your ear holes. News.
We have an update, Kyle.
Oh, surprise.
Because of our work and dramatic influence over world events, Boy Scouts of America announced Tuesday that they are going to change their name to Scouting America.
Ooh. Yeah, this must be in response to our scouting episode.
Yep. We totally made this happen.
Yeah.
It's all us.
Yep.
You're welcome.
For sure.
But yeah, Boy Scouts of America has had some problems, and that includes all the stuff that we talked about in the Boy Scouts episode. Go back and listen to that if you want to hear the whole saga. But basically, I didn't know that they were going to make this move so close on the heels of that episode.
Yeah,
they're changing their names to like adopt a more inclusive persona and drop the boy part. So they're going to be Scouting America.
That's great.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah.
Good way to go, Scouting America. No one's going to know what that is. Everyone's going to have to say, like, formerly known as Boy Scouts. Because, no one knows the...
It's like Twitter and X, but less transphobic.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Good work, Scouting America.
Yeah.
Okay, news the first.
Great.
News the first. So, have you been watching Eurovision?
Someone sent me a TikTok, and I had to watch one of them on TikTok. I think I watched the winners thing on TikTok.
Well, Nemo has become the first non-binary artist to win Eurovision. So Nemo is from Switzerland. The 68th Eurovision Song Contest was broadcast live from Malmö, Sweden, following Lorene's 2023 win. And Nemo apparently smashed it out of the park with their song "The Code," and "The Code" was written by Nemo to explain how they came to terms with their non-binary identity. The song includes the lyrics: "This story is my truth. I went to hell and back to find myself on track. I broke the code," as well as "Somewhere between the zeros and the ones. That's where I found my kingdom come."
Very Matrix.
Right.
Which was created by two trans women, so it's fitting.
Yeah, well, and 1 and 0 is literally binary.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay. Another singer who did very well in the Eurovision 2024 results was a fellow non-binary artist named Bambi Thug. Bambi Thug was Ireland's entry. They also did really well. And, but yeah. Anyway, Eurovision some people say that Eurovision is the gayest event of the year.
Yeah.
Especially if you are Euro.
Yep.
and have vision.
And have vision. Do you watch Eurovision?
No.
It is a giant gay event. Yeah, some people call it gay Christmas, but I think you have to be European to care.
Okay. Well,
because us Americans don't really.
I mean, it is. You always see like the screenshots and memes of like what goes on there and how they all look like Zoolander, and it's. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Looks like a wild time.
It's one of those things I want to care, Kyle.
Yeah, yep.
I want to care enough to carve out the time to have like a Eurovision watch party. They've been doing it for 68 years in a row now, and I've made exactly 0. So
to try to go back and try to get all caught up on Eurovision would be a monster undertaking. Yeah, so I'm just kind of
as hard as RuPaul.
Yep. So I think I'm just not going to care.
Okay. Well. We can not care together.
Oh.
News the second.
Yeah.
Gayish podcast hates Eurovision. The real news the second. So, a gay couple has filed a federal lawsuit against the city of New York, alleging that they have been unfairly denied health care coverage because they are being denied for in vitro fertilization. They say it's because they are a gay male couple. The city of New York has made the let's think about this for a second argument that insurance doesn't cover what they're trying to accomplish because neither of them are infertile. In New York's insurance policy, it specifically says that IVF coverage is for couples in which one or both partners are infertile and that neither of them are infertile and therefore they are denied coverage for IVF.
Yeah, okay. I mean, technically, but like the point is you can't make a baby.
Can't make a baby, no matter how hard you try.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Quote, by defining infertility in this exclusionary manner, single female employees with male partners, female employees with female partners, and male employees with a female partner are always potentially eligible for some IVF benefits under the city's healthcare plan, but gay male employees, whether individually or with male partners, are never eligible for any IVF benefits. That's from the lawsuit. The name of the couple, Corey Briskin and Nicholas Majapinto, they've been fighting this for several years, and they apparently have spent like all of their money that was meant to be for IVF on the court case. They've spent approximately $80,000 so far trying to get coverage.
Hopefully, if it works, if they're successful, they get court costs covered.
Yeah, you would hope.
But that's like going up against like a city like that, I would assume requires so much money to make that happen. You got to be rich to file stuff in court.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ugh.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck, you kids. I hope you get to have that baby soon.
Yeah.
News the last?
Yeah.
I know you're going to be really sad about this.
Uh-oh.
Joe Exotic, star of the hit 2020 Netflix docuseries Tiger King.
The thing that kept us all entertained during COVID.
Yes. Has sadly ended his campaign for president.
Well, who am I going to vote for now?
I know, right? His campaign committee, Joseph Maldonado, which is his real name, the campaign committee, Joseph Maldonado to Free America.
To free us?
Yeah. Filed a termination report with the FEC on Thursday. Apparently the campaign has $1,400 left after fundraising over $16,000.
That's not even enough to take the New York State to court.
Right, exactly right. Yeah, he announced on Twitter in March of 2023 that he was going to run for president as a libertarian candidate, and later switching to Democrat, and is in prison because he for sure killed Carol Baskin. But he said, quote, "Yes, I know I am in federal prison, and you might think that this is a joke, but it's not. It is my constitutional right to do this, even from here. Put aside that I am gay, that I am in prison for now, that I used drugs in the past, that I had more than one boyfriend at once, and that Carol hates my guts. This all has not a thing to do with me being able to be your voice." He didn't kill her. He tried to kill her. But anyway, it doesn't matter. he's had prostate cancer in there. He stopped treatment in February 2023. That he just was going to, quote, stay here and let it take its course. I would care less about dying. My birthday's coming up soon, and all I want to see is Seth. His weirdly hot husband boyfriend person, I think. Anyway, just a prime example again, Kyle, of like gay people being like crazy, and ridiculous, and not necessarily the best role models.
Maybe not. I don't know that he's presidential worthy. Yeah. I don't know that he's presidential.
Yeah.
Well, especially when he lists off all of the things that he's done all together.
Well, and imagine all of the brouhaha also, because apparently Joe Biden's dog bites the Secret Service agents all the time. Mm-hmm. Imagine this motherfucker rolling into the White House with a tiger.
Yeah. Everyone be cool. He's fine.
State dinners with big cats roaming around antagonizing the foreign dignitaries.
Ooh, that would be a little bit intimidating.
Right?
Maybe that's the tactic.
It seems old school.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know, like Roman shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the news.
That's the news. Speaking of our favorite tigers.
Big cats.
Our favorite big cats. I want to thank the following new Patreon members. Thank you to Atheri8178.
Does that mean something? Does that spell out boobs or something?
No. It spells out Bill.
Okay, well.
If you flip the 7 upside down. If you're a computer program, you have to tell us.
Yeah.
It's against the law not to. Thank you to...
We'll still take your money.
We'll still take your money for sure. That's for sure. We don't care who it is. William Dauber.
That's...
Or like I like to say, Da Bear.
Da Bears.
And Koala Kip.
Koala Kip.
Yep.
I wonder if he has chlamydia.
If you want bonus episodes and segments every week, if you want ad-free episodes a day early, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast and support the show.
Do it. All right, you want to talk about kilts?
Yeah, let's talk about kilts.
All right.
Why this one was a Patreon vote. 63% of Gap Bridgers voted on kilts. Mm-hmm. It also won the tiebreaker. So this was your choice, and yet again, you know what the people want.
I know our weird listeners.
I guess so. I don't like to admit it any week, but I think I'm finally caving and saying our listeners better.
Luckily for you, we only do this monthly.
Yep. I only have to lose once a month instead of more often. Yeah, that feels great.
And dragons, though, it was a tie between dragons and spoons, which were your submissions. It was a tie on the main poll. The tiebreaker poll, dragons had just a little bit of an edge. So here, that's going to be our monthly bonus episode.
Yep, our monthly bonus episode. We're going to edge dragons.
Edge them? Great. I bet that thing's pointy.
Ooh.
Right?
I don't want that going inside me. I think I have too many intestines and stuff in my body to be a dragon dick receptacle.
Okay. Not with that attitude anyway, right? Okay,
kilts.
So kilts won.
Yeah.
I put it on there because they're sexy.
Okay. You like a man in a kilt?
Yeah. I do. And maybe it's because of my Scottish blood, which we'll talk about later.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about kilts? You seem incredulous. Like, no, they're not sexy, Mike. You are incorrect. Your feelings in your penis area are incorrect.
Yeah, whatever you feel in your penis is wrong. I don't think I have a strong, I don't think they're particularly sexy, but I don't think they're not sexy.
Okay.
I just think they kind of are.
I mean, of course, you immediately have to wonder, what's under there?
Ooh, I have some gate on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, first, let's start with the history of kilts.
Okay, sure.
I am going to talk to you a little bit about the history of the kilt, but the thing is, there's kind of a kilt traversy.
Okay.
I had you ever heard this before, that kilts aren't even really Scottish?
No.
Oh, that's the thing that nerds say sometimes, and they want to point to this English dude that apparently invented the kilt. And I think after researching it a little bit more that is utter horseshit.
Okay.
But we're gonna talk about it. So
That sounds like one of those things that someone says to feel like they're a smart person,
yeah,
but they themselves don't actually know. They've just heard it from other people that
that's right.
it's not true.
And if you repeat something often enough, sometimes it just becomes the truth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just human nature.
Yeah.
Boo. So the noun kilt comes from the Scots verb kilt, meaning to tuck up the clothes around the body. And the Scots word derives from Old Norse kelta, meaning lap or fold of a gathered skirt. Now, here's the thing, everybody. I'm multiple times in the episode today. Hey.
Who? Hey,
Listen.
hey, pay attention.
I'm multiple times in the episode today going to refer to kilts as skirts for the purposes of discussion. I know that they are different. Don't at me.
But are they different?
Are they different? We'll have to chat about that.
Okay.
Okay. So kilts started for sure in Scotland, and anybody who tells you differently is lying to you. But it was originally what was known as the long kilt, and the great kilt. It arrives in the Scottish Highlands in about the 16th century, so 15 something, and so it was based on a garment that was also worn by the Gaelic Irish, but the 16th century wool became more and more prevalent. They had a lot more sheeps and had made it refined the process of making wool to such a point that there was a lot more wool around, and that made these garments grow, and they had grown to such a size that they had to be gathered up and a belt put on, and then the rest of the material though would go up and like around your whole body or even over your head. And that's the great kilt,
Like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, kind of.
With her skirt blowing up and around.
Yeah.
But maybe less underwear?
Maybe less underwear. And a lot less city grates in 16th century.
Yes.
Islands of Scotland. But they would wear the upper half as like a cloak draped over their shoulder, or hung down over the belt and gathered up at the front, or brought up over the shoulders or head for protection against the weather. And a description from 1746 said, the garb is certainly very loose and fits men inured to it to go through great fatigues, to make very quick marches, to bear out against the inclemency of the weather, to wade through rivers and shelter in huts, woods, and rocks upon occasion, which men dressed in the low country garb could not possibly endure. And so here's where the controversy comes in.
Okay.
The kiltroversy. And I have a couple of weird departures off of this to talk about. But the small kilt, or the walking kilt, shows up sometime in the late 17th or early 18th century. And that was a single width of cloth worn hanging down below the belt, and without all of that extra material that you would put up over wrap around you in some way.
It was a shorty kilt.
A shorty kilt. And the shorty kilt, there was a letter written by a dude named Ivan Bailey in 1768. It was published in Edinburgh Magazine. It said that the modern short kilt was invented in the 1720s by Thomas Rawlinson. And Thomas Rawlinson was a Quaker from Lancashire. And talk about like repeat a lie often enough and sometimes it just becomes the truth.
Mm-hmm.
For a number of different reasons, that got repeated often enough that it became the truth, that kilts were invented by an English person. At best, he popularized the manufacture of shorter kilts. At worst, he wasn't a real person and everyone is lying to you.
Oh, he might have not been real?
I mean, no, he was real though.
Oh, okay.
He was real.
Okay.
But-
Unlike Santa.
Unlike Santa and Jesus.
Wait.
Okay, so this Rawlinson guy, even today, it is split. Scholars are split on whether he should get credit for inventing the modern walking kilt or the short the small kilt. So one thing that I wanted to mention, though, is that lots of people have written about it. Sir Thomas Innes of Lerney says that it's a wretched story, like it's a dirty, filthy lie in 1939, and then again in 1971, books that he wrote. These authors, Barnes and Kennedy, say that although Rawlinson gets credit, they just say that he is attributed with being the one that invented it, but they don't really take a side. All the way to this guy named Hugh Trevor Roper, who apparently in 1983, so in the 80s, he's this scholar, and he is like, it's for sure English. People who think that it's Scottish are lying to themselves, and he's like, line in the sand. This is for sure a English thing. Now, he's English. He was a professor of modern history at the University of Oxford, but I don't want to talk about him at all.
Oh, fuck you.
Fuck that guy. I want to talk about his brother, Patrick Trevor Roper, who was fucking fascinating. So this guy who's a kilt expert, apparently, but his brother was an eye surgeon, and he was a gay rights activist and pioneer in the UK.
Oh.
So he was that other douchebag's brother. But in 1955, he agreed to appear as a witness before the Wolfenden Committee, which the British government had appointed to investigate, among other things, whether male homosexuality should remain a crime. It was illegal in the UK, and he was one of only 3 gays that were like, yes, I'm gay. Yes, I will chat.
Wow. Man, imagine having to represent, like, be the 3 people that have to represent all of gays.
Right.
That's like when people are like, thanks for representing the gay community. I feel real bad that it has to be you and I. I don't want that pressure.
Right. Yeah. And but also, like, at that time, because it was so illegal, like, it would ruin people's lives to just be like, I don't care who finds out or what the repercussions are going to be. This is important, and I'm going to help move the needle.
Yeah.
Is pretty badass.
Yeah, that is badass.
So he told that committee that the majority of gay men led normal and well-adjusted lives, posed no threat to children or public morality, and that homosexuality was neither a physical nor mental illness. He pointed out that existing laws did nothing but encourage blackmailers, and argued that the age of consent should be lowered to 16 in line with straight people, and told the committee that many young gay men committed or attempted suicide because of isolation or depression induced by homophobia. All in the
he covered it. He covered all the bases. He's got all the talking points down.
All of this in the 1950s. Yeah.
Wow. Shit, we're still trying to explain to people.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like things are getting better, because I think in a lot of ways they objectively are, but then also somebody will then ask, who's the boy and who's the girl? And I'm like, Jesus fuck. We've made zero progress at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Patrick Trevor Roper. He's his brother, the kilt expert, spreading the dirty rumor that kilts are English.
But you're convinced they're Scottish.
I'm convinced that they are Scottish. Yeah, because there's a lot of paintings. There's like paintings of Scottish people wearing kilts, like as early as the 1600s. And so here's what actually I think is part of what's happened. I'm going to fuck up your history, all of you United Kingdom folks, and I'm sorry. But so when the Jacobite rebellion happened, then that really starts this big schism between England and Scotland for, like, political power. And there's this significant effort on the part of the English to stamp out Scottish culture. King George II imposed the Dress Act in 1746, which outlawed men and boys wearing items of Highland dress, and that included kilts. So regardless of where they came from, in 1746, the king is like, no more kilts, you dirty fuckers.
It's interesting how that could impact even, like, LGBT people, like people that push gender presentation norms aside and wear what they want. Like, that could affect more than just people with Scottish heritage.
Yep, absolutely. And the penalties were severe. So it was 6 months imprisonment for the first offense. If you were caught wearing a kilt by the crown.
Pretty harsh. It's not just like a fine.
And 7 years in prison for the second offense.
7 years?
And the ban was in effect for 35 years. Now, here's the thing. King George II had many, many gay rumors.
Ooh.
So he's one of the potentially faggot kings of England.
the faggot king.
Yeah. He had a close relationship with John Lord Hervey, who was his vice chamberlain. And there were rumors that they were more than just friends. Hervey was known for his wit, intelligence, and flamboyant style.
Okay.
And they spent a lot of time together, and he was more or less openly bisexual.
Huh.
He did have a wife, and they had children, but he was yeah. Anyway, so the dude that tried to get rid of kilts was gay.
Wow.
The king was gay.
Closeted.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? Problematic, especially historically, to retroactively apply those labels. Blah, 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 blah.
But it's so fun.
But it is fun. It is super duper fun. So then when the Dress Act is then repealed 35 years later, there's this renewed interest in what were all of these clothes that we weren't supposed to wear. And there's this big renewal of Scottish interest in Highlands garb as the national attire for the country. And that's when you also see more specifically like patterns of kilts being associated with your clan or your family. But yeah. Anyway, I guess that's enough. But the kilt, those are the gay things I could find about kilts. The fact that like this expert, his brother was a big deal, and that the king that tried to get rid of kilts was maybe sucking dick.
I love that.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Can you imagine being the dude that fucks the king?
Right?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Right? And like, I don't know, would you you'd have to keep it secret.
Yeah.
But then you'd also have to like, God, look at that faggot too. Like that's the guy,
he's standing it like
the guy that's fucking the king, like the limpest wrist ever.
Yeah.
And he was. Oh, I'll just read this part. He was bisexual. He had an affair with Anne Vane, possibly with Lady Mary Wortley Montagu and Princess Caroline, but he lived with Stephen Fox during the decade. After he went with him to Italy in 1728, he wrote passionate love letters to Francesco Algarotti, who he met in 1736. He may have had a secret sexual affair with Prince Frederick before their friendship went south. He was denounced as a sexually ambiguous figure in his time, most notably by William Putney, then leader of the opposition. And Alexander Pope wrote about him also.
All that was about the king?
No, all that was about the Lord.
Oh, the guy who was fucking.
The guy who was fucking the king.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But wouldn't it be hot to be this like, I'm fucking the king, but I can't tell anyone?
Oh, for sure. The hottest secret you've ever had.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Gaeta.
Yeah.
This is from a 2016 survey by YouGov of 315 men who wore kilts.
Okay, great.
And they asked what they wore under their kilt.
Oh my God. Okay.
Underneath your clothes, there's an endless story. What do you think? How many do you think wore underwear?
Okay, my Scottish friends. You've met Fraser.
Yeah.
He's very tall.
Yeah.
And he wears a kilt.
Okay.
From time to time because he's a bagpiper. And he's always at least making the joke that like there's nothing on under there. And that's the proper way to do it.
Uh-huh.
So that whole thing makes me think the answer is like 75% wore nothing.
Wore nothing. You have it backwards.
Great.
55% said they wore underwear.
Okay. Well, okay.
38%, and it said admitted, like it was a little secret. admitted to wearing nothing.
Yeah. They just want, when they say that, they just want you to think about their dick.
Yeah.
There's no other like possible explanation for that.
I
think about my dick.
7% said they had shorts or something else.
Yeah.
Men aged 25 to 64 were more likely to wear nothing.
That's 25 to 64.
Yeah.
That's like your whole life.
That's most men.
Okay, great.
I guess once you get older, then you get more
Naked.
no less naked.
Less naked.
Yeah.
Probably cold. Old people are always cold.
Oh yeah, it's probably getting a little chilly. Get a little dick cold. There are some military regiments require traditional Scottish dress, which traditional Scottish dress means nothing on under the kilt.
Great.
It is required though in a few situations during the Highland Games.
Mm-hmm.
Scottish country dancers are required to wear them. And rental companies
Oh, well,
require that you wear something underneath.
Sure. I don't want to just like taint your skirt with my taint.
Yeah. Toss that into the I was going to say the oven. That's not how you make clothes clean. Toss that into the washer just real quick before you put it on, I would say.
Yeah, just in case.
Your rental kilt? Yeah. I don't know. Unless you want to rub your dick against where other dicks were. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that turns you on. I'm not your mom.
I'm not your mom.
You can do what you want. Of Scottish women, 91% say kilts are an attractive look. So lots of Scottish women are into it.
Well,
You might as well be a Scottish woman, Mike.
I might as well be.
And 67% of Scotsmen think a kilt is strong and patriotic.
Okay, it has become like part of the national identity, and I think that's why people also like to throw around the like it was invented by an Englishman, because they just can't help but yuck somebody else's yum.
Yeah. But that also means a third didn't think it was strong and patriotic. So there's, it's not a solid win for the kilt.
Yeah. I don't know what percentage would it have to be a solid win though.
Like 80%.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I think a third is still a good number of a good contingent of people that don't think it's strong and patriotic. Is it gayer? The gay thing is to not wear underwear, right?
I would think so.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Or just like to not wear underwear and then let everyone know I'm not wearing underwear. Proclaiming that loudly to anybody who will listen.
Yeah.
That's the gay part.
Yeah.
Think about my dick.
I agree. That's the gay-ta.
Do you know how much a kilt costs?
No.
It's like a suit.
No way.
A basic wool kilt typically ranges from $500 to $1,000.
Holy shit.
A high-quality wool kilt outfit with accessories,
like the bag and
like a sporran, which is Gaelic for purse, I guess. Which that's funny.
Yeah.
Between $1,000 to $2,000, and premium silk kilt outfits with extensive customization can cost upwards of $5,000.
Holy shit.
And the prices vary depending on the specific tartan, like which pattern it is, which accessories you buy, and of course how good the tailor is. You can rent a kilt from Kilt Rental USA for $76.95 for a casual kilt.
Man, that I would have, if you would have asked me at first, I would have guessed that's how much it would cost to buy a kilt. Just a cheap little kilt.
Cheap they are not.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. I kind of want one.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know.
Are you going to get one? What?
Probably not. I'm way too lazy for
Is
that.
it appropriation to wear it?
You want to jump into that?
Sure.
Okay, great. So, is it cultural appropriation to wear a kilt? Let us know, Scottish friends, what you think. I found some stuff about it, but
oh, you did?
What do you think?
I think I found somewhere that said it wasn't, but they were also a place that sold kilts. So it's in their best interest to try to get people to buy it and assume it, or like feel like it's not cultural appropriation. I don't know. It seems like one of those things that like if you do in a way that's respectful to the culture and you know what you're, like the history of what you're doing, then it could be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. The thing I'm not saying is that, like, can you culturally appropriate from white people? Like, there's lots of different flavors of white people, and it just feels like as I run through the Rolodex of different kinds of white people in my head, doing anything that they do doesn't feel like cultural appropriation, at least not here in the United States.
Yeah.
Like, wear wooden shoes like a Dutch person if you want to. I don't give a fuck. Make spaghetti. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
I just don't think any of it is... like anytime we're talking about different kinds of white people, it just feels like it's okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't separate between our white people too much in like classification.
Right. Well, Dr. Nick Fittis in a little like blog entry on clan.com says, is a non-Scot in a kilt cultural appropriation? Here's what he wrote. The kilt is a symbol of Scottish culture and heritage, and many people around the world have embraced it as a fashion statement. However, there has been some controversy surrounding whether it is appropriate for non-Scots to wear a kilt, with some accusing it of being cultural appropriation. The truth is, you might as well say someone should be a cowboy to wear denim. No true Scot would consider anyone wearing a kilt to be cultural appropriation. Scotland is a country that welcomes people from all over the world, and the kilt is a garment that can be worn by anyone who appreciates its beauty and heritage. It is a symbol of Scottish pride and tradition. By wearing it, you are showing your appreciation for the culture. Furthermore, the kilt has evolved over time to become a more versatile and modern garment with many different styles and designs that can be worn for various occasions. This means that anyone can wear a kilt, regardless of their background or nationality, and still look stylish and appropriate. In conclusion, wearing a kilt is not cultural appropriation. It is a garment that is meant to be celebrated and shared with the world, and anyone can wear one with pride and respect for Scottish culture. Now, what I've found, though, a little bit is because the patterns are quite often specific to a clan, that's where things get a little dicey. Like, if you wear one that like is for sure a specific clan's tartan, that's maybe not cool. But
how would you know?
I don't know.
I wonder if there's like a lookup, like a Google for kilt patterns.
There absolutely is on clan.com. That's, if you want to look at that. And this is actually the tool that I made when researching my own ancestry, and I have a scarf that's in the pattern from my clan, which is fun.
That's cute.
I can show you later.
Yeah.
It's red though, and I don't think I want a red kilt. Anyway, okay. But there are some patterns that aren't clan specific, open patterns, so-called open tartans. So as long as you're wearing one of those,
okay,
you're probably good.
Okay, that's good to know.
I don't know. Do you agree? He sounded like he knew what he was talking about, and I read it with a very authoritative voice.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I said, that as long as you're appreciating where it came from, that it's not cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
And he's right, it's like kind of evolved into something that's bigger than where it started, which is okay.
Yeah.
Well, what if I tell you about whether real men wear kilts?
Oh my God. Okay. The answer is yes.
Because
we're gonna talk about a little bit the gender thing, right?
Yeah.
Like skirts are a thing.
Yeah.
Kilts are a thing.
Yeah.
Skirts are for girls. Kilts are for boys, but they're the same garment.
Mm-hmm.
Gender is a construct. QED. That's like thus ends the argument or whatever in Latin.
Oh. Yeah, this has been Gayish. Thanks, everybody.
Mm-hmm. QED, what does it mean? Quod erat demonstrandum, meaning that which was to be demonstrated.
You demonstrated it.
Yeah.
Okay, but first we're going to talk about if real men wear kilts. Okay. This is on a website.
Okay, the phrase real men, it just makes me really upset.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It first outlined reasons for wearing a kilt. One is the association with the Scottish heritage. Another is confidence.
Okay.
It says that it requires a level of confidence to wear. They said, quote, many men who wear kilts feel proud and confident in their choice of garment, which can be seen as a sign of masculinity.
All right, I'll buy that.
Boldness is another reason to wear a kilt. Bold fashion choice, rejecting conventional norms, which can be seen as a sign of masculinity.
Yeah, it could also be seen as a sign of queerness, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
I don't think of masculinity as rejecting gender norms or rejecting conventional norms. I see it as embracing.
Yeah.
Or the type of masculinity we tend to see in the U.S.
Yep.
And practicality is another reason to wear a kilt. There's freedom of movement. It's easy to wear. And it said, quote, this practicality can be seen as a sign of masculinity as it demonstrates a willingness to embrace practical solutions rather than relying on more conventional forms of clothing.
Okay.
This is like the fact that people have had to use the word utilikilt.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just makes them feel better that there's utility in it. And to sell things to men, you got to be like, here's the thing it's going to accomplish for you.
Yeah. Well, and in the utilikilt space, I was reading too about how a lot of them have pockets in them or ways to store tools, and but all of that so that they don't have to wear a sporran because it's basically a purse.
So you have pockets so you don't have to wear your purse.
Yeah. So like, let's butch up the name and give them somewhere to put their shit.
Yeah.
And then let's mask up the kilt a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there's rainbow utilikilts for pride, which I fucking love, and I'm probably going to buy one of those.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
That's quite the combination of like heritage plus apparently it's masculine to wear kilts, but it's rainbow.
Kilts also have like, even though it started as like working people clothing, there are some like military connections that the kilt ends up being associated with military. There were even apparently sometimes like battalions or regiments that had a kilt and a kilt pattern as their uniform. And anytime you bring in the military as part of a tradition, that automatically butches it up. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of butching it up, this article then listed celebrities who have worn a kilt.
Oh yeah, Lil Nas X.
Oh, he was not on the list.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I believe you though. The celebrities they listed were Sean Connery, and it said,
oh my god,
the legendary actor was known for his macho image and is often considered one of the most masculine men to have ever worn a kilt. And that was what they did for every single celebrity. They were like, this masculine man also wore a kilt.
Yeah.
So they included Ewan McGregor, Mel Gibson, Gerard Butler.
Okay, Mel Gibson wore it because he did Braveheart.
Yeah, I don't know that counts, but like acting, yeah. Alexander Skarsgård, Jason Momoa, James McAvoy. And after every single one, it was like, this masculine actor.
Hold on.
What?
Just Jason Momoa in a kilt. We're going to pause right there for a second.
I wonder if he's one of the 38% that wears nothing.
God, I hope so.
Oh, that's Lil Nas X. Is that a kilt or a skirt?
It's a kilt.
How do you know?
Well, what makes a kilt identifiable as a kilt is the tartan, so it's got that plaid pattern to it, but also how severe the pleating is. Like there are skirts that are pleated, but like a kilt really is like fucking pleated.
Yeah.
And
all the way around.
All the way around. And so those two things I think make this clearly a kilt.
I'm guessing it makes sense that they did not include Lil Nas X on this list because they are trying really hard. This article is trying really hard to say that, yes, it is okay for men to buy a kilt.
Yeah, yeah.
And
a bunch of white men and Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Yeah. This was by a website that sells kilts. So again, their motivation is to try to get men to think it's okay. But I think you do with kilts have to really, especially outside of like Scotland, probably you have to really convince people that it won't take away their masculine card by wearing a kilt.
Yeah. Which at least in this country, dudes are that like shallow, paranoid, wrapped up in their own bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I know that for the Patreon segment, you're going to talk about 10 secrets.
10 secrets about kilts. That's what the article was called. We'll decide how secret these secrets really are.
10
if they did any good secrets.
Kilt secrets.
Kilt secrets.
Kilt secrets.
I'm kilty.
I did want to talk a little bit about just my Scottish heritage, ancestry, or whatever. So I have on both sides, actually, I have Scottish ancestry, but on my dad's side, my great uncle, Uncle Bob, and I are sort of the genealogists of the family. So we share records and stuff all the time, and it's really fun. It's been a great way to like build a relationship with him. But there is a offshoot of our family on the Johnson side that are Scottish, and they came from a little village called Ankrum, which when I was in right before the pandemic, I was in Scotland for my birthday, which you did an episode. I took that week off because it was my birthday, and but I called in.
You sent in a recording, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was on that trip that Fraser, my friends, were and Lewis were kind enough to take me down to this little village of Ankrum, and it was really cool to go and be like, however many hundreds of years ago, I had like family here, and this is where it was. It was a tiny shit ass town. It was like little itty bitty.
You're not moving
town.
back there?
Not moving back there. No, no, it's like rural AF. But as part of like doing that family history, discovered that although so that family that goes back to Ankrum, Scotland, it was part of Clan Kerr, Kerr, or Care, but usually Kerr, and so that got me on this kick of like knowing about Clan Kerr and what they were up to, and so I do know the like the tartan, and I have a it's this pattern. That's the pattern.
Oh, that's a really cute little flannel pattern.
It's Christmassy.
It is
right?
very Christmassy.
It's
red and green,
red and green,
black.
Yep. But that pattern says Clan Kerr, and so I do have a scarf that's in that pattern. I don't know if I could pull off a kilt in that like
bright,
like you would see me coming 100 miles away.
Yeah.
Right. You would start thinking about my dick well before I arrived, if I was in that kilt. But I don't know. It's been kind of cool to like. Every culture has their thing. Every heritage has their thing, and like kilts are the Scottish thing, right? Like, what are the other options? Bagpipes and haggis, I guess. Like, but this is just a really cool way to feel connected to that part of my family history.
Yeah. What makes you so interested in the genealogy?
Well, I think, I mean, I'm into history anyway. That's why I talk about the history of shit on the show all the time, which has been, by the way, a really fun reason to read about history.
Oh, I'm so glad, because I'm glad I don't have to do it.
Well, but it's like one of those things that, like, I'm interested in but would never carve out the time for until we started doing it on the show, and now like I have a reason to, so I do.
Yeah.
But I know because of history that like white people aren't from the United States, Kyle.
Right.
We all came from somewhere else.
Yep.
And knowing where that somewhere else is, I think is just, there's a desire to know where I'm from and like what kind of people led to me being a human. And it's a fun way to explore that. You're not interested in it at all, are you?
No, we're not. Like, my family never like placed a high importance on extended family. We moved away from, all of my family lives on the East Coast. We moved away from our family. We were the weirdos that, well, first went to Venezuela and then to Texas. And so extended family wasn't a big part of my upbringing. So like family and family history also wasn't part of my family's interest or conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if you're not into it, you're not into it.
Yeah. I'm also not into. I don't really care that much about history. Yeah. So I always did real bad on. No, I didn't. I did fine on history because I got all A's. But I always hated doing history. I kind of wish I paid more attention now, because I am a little bit more interested as I get older in like understanding things, especially U.S. history. But yeah. Are kilts gay?
I mean, no.
Why no?
but also yes.
Okay.
I think that from what I know of Scottish culture, kilts are decidedly not gay.
Right.
It is like it's masculine garb wrapped up in national identity and like a lot of stuff that is sort of, I don't want to say toxic, but it is masculine.
Yeah.
And so that makes it all seem not gay. But the weird homoerotic, guess what I'm wearing under this thing that I'm wearing, that feels homoerotic. That definitely does feel gay.
Yeah.
So like it's almost like the garment, no, but what's under the garment potentially.
But the way you
yes.
style it, maybe?
The way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's unique in that it's one of the few things men can do to break masculine norms in the US and also not be a gay thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like breaking them. I don't think it's gay.
Mm.
I think wearing a kilt is, maybe you are or not, but it's not indicative. It doesn't automatically like make me presume someone is gay seeing it. So I don't think there are many things that men can do that break masculine norms that isn't default gay.
Yeah.
But I think this is a unique kind of category of thing.
Yeah. I will say at the very least, it's super easy access, and that makes it gay.
Okay, that's very true. Yeah, even jock straps are a little bit in the way.
Yeah.
I think you're right. The gay part is if you wear underwear or not. And 38% of people must be pretty gay because they admitted to wearing nothing.
Yeah. Free pickle. Loose pickle.
Free pickle.
Loose pickle is how my brother used to describe going commando.
Oh.
In jeans.
I've never heard that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Did we do it?
Yeah, we talked about the kilt a bunch.
We talked about kilts a bunch.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much we were going to have, but
yeah,
here we are.
But here we are.
Should we take a break?
Let's take a break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Wait, do we have everything? Oh, are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
It was your line. Oh, we're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
You can find our communities like our Facebook group and our Discord. Find out how to join them at gayishpodcast.com/contact.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, especially if it's your Gayest and Straightest. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
Our physical mailing address that I still have not gone to in a really long time is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
Gayest and Straightest.
Okay, we'll do our Gayest and Straightest.
I'll go.
Okay, go.
My gayest is it's getting warm out, and so now there are shirtless joggers.
Yeah.
There was one in particular that while I was walking my dog, like the good thing about having a dog is you can like, if he's like dragging slow, you can turn around and have a reason to just stop in the middle of the street and turn around.
Yep.
And then sneak glances at shirtless runners. So that's what I did.
Great. Good work.
Yeah.
God bless shirtless runners.
Yeah. Especially the hot ones.
Yeah. Okay.
My straightest is I had a dream that I intercepted the football a whole bunch and ran it back down for touchdowns.
What? Kyle.
I did lots of interceptions and lots of touchdowns.
Wow.
I know. I don't know why.
That's like maybe your straightest for like the year.
For a while, right?
Yeah.
There was no prompting. I didn't watch football. I didn't catch anything well. I didn't see a TV show about football. I have no idea where that came
Your
from.
subconscious has a clear symbolic desire for football references. That's weird.
That's very weird. I don't understand it, but it felt good getting those touchdowns.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Lots of applause.
Yeah.
Lots of cheering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the straightest thing about me this week is toilet repair kit shopping. The toilet in our main bedroom is not flushing. The chain broke and the flappers crooked. I don't know. Anyway, but just trying to like figure out the right repair thing to do. But then the gayest thing about this week was a couple of nights ago, I hopped in the shower and I dropped the soap and just started laughing and laughing and laughing. Oh, God. Don't drop the soap.
I think about it every time I drop the soap.
Yep, absolutely. We have a listener's Gayest and Straightest this time. It's a voicemail. It's Eric from Baltimore.
Hi, my name's Eric, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and this is my Gayest and Straightest. My straightest this week was I chaperoned a group of about 80 kids down to Universal Studios in Orlando, and I was assigned to a group of 6 kids where I definitely served as the group father the whole time, making sure that everybody reapplied their sunscreen and hydrated and got to everywhere they needed to go. The gayest thing about me is that as a pansexual verse switch, I'm incredibly indecisive and therefore downloaded and uninstalled Grindr 3 separate times in the past week. So, yeah. Gayest and straightest.
Are pansexuals indecisive?
That's a bisexual stereotype.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. That's the idea is they can't decide which gender they're into,
all right. Well,
which is it's a shitty stereotype, but a funny one. You know what?
I want
Download
Grindr. No, I don't. I want Grindr. No, I don't. I want Grindr. No, I don't.
Download it and give it a shot.
Sure.
You might be glad you did. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're
Get
only
somebody
if you're
to,
hot.
to shoot on you.
Yeah. I want to thank everyone who wears kilts.
I want to thank my friends in Scotland.
Yeah.
For, I'm sure, making fun of everything that we said and did today.
Great. Ideal. I also want to thank our super gap bridgers. Thank you to Kaylee Adams, Kit Oliver, Kobe Gordon, Squoggle, Pip, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Carley, Yost Osel, Harry Shaw, Jonathan Montanez, Wadu Forrest, now Patrick Martin, Steve Douglas, Explosive Lasagna, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Thomas B, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you.
Hurts.
Are you okay?
I'm great. Oh, God. Okay, I'm better.